King Charles is turning a blind eye, but King William won't.
No.
So trust me, Harry and Meghan right now should be very afraid, because it is a matter of when, not if. Terrible news for Harry and Meghan here is that William can now take away everything, their titles, without an act of parliament.
Nobody expected Prince Harry to respond the way he did. Not after weeks of whispers, leaked stories, and a storm of speculations surrounding Meghan's old connections to Soho House. But when one detail resurfaced, one tiny thread from Meghan's past, it triggered a reaction nobody saw coming. Because behind the polished photos, behind the carefully crafted public image, there was a world Harry had never fully understood, and now it was staring him in the face. People close to the situation say Harry didn't go looking for drama. He didn't want a confrontation. But once he stumbled across information linking Meghan, her longtime friends, and the exclusive Soho House circle, he couldn't ignore it. And what happened next would spark questions about loyalty, trust, and what had really been kept from him all these years. But this wasn't the whole story. Not even close. It started with something small. So small that Harry almost ignored it. A photo resurfaced online, one he'd seen a dozen times but never really examined. At first, it looked like every other picture connected to the situation. Smiles, sunlight, nothing unusual. But late one night, when his mind refused to settle, Harry zoomed in, and that's when he noticed it. A navy blue bag tucked off to the side. Ordinary at first glance, until he saw the gold lettering, Soho House. That alone wasn't shocking. Meghan had well-known ties to the group, and many of her closest friends had spent years inside that world. But for Harry, the timing felt strange. Why that bag? Why there? And why did it look like it belonged to someone who wasn't even in the photo? Something about it tugged at him, a feeling he couldn't shake, as if the picture wasn't just a picture, but a clue, a reminder of a past he had never been part of. And the more he tried to brush it off, the more it gnawed at him, pushing him toward answers he wasn't sure he wanted. Harry couldn't shake the feeling that the photo meant more than it appeared, so he finally gave in to the instinct that had been pulling at him. He opened his laptop, took a breath, and typed 3 names into the search bar. Names he had never thought to connect before. Soho House, Marcus Anderson, Meghan Markle. What came up wasn't scandal, but a pattern he'd somehow overlooked. Articles, old photos, interviews, social posts, little pieces scattered across years, showing how deeply entwined Meghan's early career, her friendships, and that exclusive members club truly were. He always knew Marcus was one of Meghan's closest confidants, but seeing how often they appeared together at events, dinners, and gatherings painted a far more intricate picture than he expected. Marcus wasn't just a friend in the background. He seemed to be part of nearly every major moment in her eyes. The more Harry scrolled, the clearer it became that this wasn't random. It was a world Meghan belonged to long before he entered the frame. A world he never paid attention to until now. And as he kept digging, he realized that what he found online was only scratching the surface, because something about the timeline didn't add up. But here's where things really heat up. According to insiders, Harry wasn't just annoyed, he was done with the constant leaks about Meghan's past. He reportedly confronted the situation head-on, making it clear that digging into Meghan's private life crossed a line. For Harry, this wasn't just gossip, it was a direct attack on the woman he chose to build a life with. And just like we've seen in past incidents, he didn't hesitate to defend her. This moment became another example of Harry stepping forward, shutting down unwanted narratives, and showing that no matter how loud the headlines get, he's always going to protect Meghan first. So why is this old Soho House story suddenly causing waves again? Simple. It fits into the larger pattern of how Meghan's life before royalty keeps getting dragged back into the spotlight. To the public, Soho House is just a trendy members-only club. But in Meghan's world, it was where friendships were made, networking happened, and yes, where some key moments in her early career unfolded. Critics use it to paint a narrative, fans see it as just another part of her story, and the media treats it like gold every time drama resurfaces. But the truth is, Meghan's past at Soho House doesn't reveal anything scandalous. It reveals that she had a life, connections, and ambitions long before Harry came along. And that's exactly why Harry's pushback hits so hard. He's reminding everyone that Meghan's history isn't a weapon, it's just her story. The moment the Soho House past headlines started circulating again, the media machine did what it always does. Earnestly, it spun the story into something bigger, louder, and more dramatic than it ever needed to be. Overnight, social channels lit up with theories, think pieces, and hot takes from people who've never met Harry or Meghan but suddenly had a lot to say. Some claimed this was proof of a secret past. Others used it to push recycled narratives about Meghan's ambition, while a whole wave of supporters clapped back, defending her right to have a life before the royal spotlight. What made things spiral even faster was the way every new twist was framed as a bombshell or a leak, even if the details weren't actually new at all. The public reaction split into two loud camps, and the noise around the story quickly became louder than the story itself. Through all of it, Harry's reaction stood out. Firm, direct, and clearly fed up. Rather than letting the narrative run wild, he pushed back in a way that signaled he's done letting the media turn Meghan's past into a never-ending spectacle. His clapback wasn't just a defense, it was a message that this kind of sensationalism has crossed the line one too many times. With this latest flare-up, it's clear that Harry and Meghan are no longer willing to let old stories be recycled for cheap headlines. Harry's clapback shows a shift. He's more assertive, more protective, and far less patient with narratives that try to twist Meghan's past into drama. For the couple, this moment marks another step in reclaiming control over their own story. Instead of staying silent, they're challenging the constant scrutiny and refusing to let the media dictate who they are. Going forward, this could signal a new chapter in how they deal with public controversies, not with quiet compliance, but with clarity and pushback. Whether the media grows tired of rehashing old angles or keeps trying to spark new scandals, Harry and Meghan are proving they're ready to meet it head-on. Their message is simple. Meghan's past is not a scandal, and their future won't be defined by the noise. Stepping back from the noise, this whole situation says more about the media landscape than it does about Harry or Meghan. The obsession with digging up past connections and turning harmless details into breaking news is part of a cycle that thrives on clicks, outrage, and sensational headlines. But moments like this expose just how exaggerated that cycle can be. The fact that a simple part of Meghan's pre-royal life can spark a full-blown media storm shows how hungry the public is for drama and how ready the press is to deliver it, whether the story is meaningful or not. What stands out is how the narrative keeps repeating itself. Meghan's background gets reintroduced, critics pile on, supporters push back, and the headlines spin until the next distraction appears. But Harry's response this time shifts the tone. It highlights a growing demand for fairness, context, and truth in a world that's quick to distort for entertainment. The bigger picture is this: as long as old stories are turned into new scandals, Harry and Meghan will keep fighting to draw a line, not just for themselves, but for anyone who's tired of seeing their life rewritten by people who were never part of it. And that wraps up today's breakdown. The renewed spotlight on Meghan's Soho House past might be loud, dramatic, and overblown, but Harry's response proves one thing: they're done letting recycled headlines shape their narrative. Whether you agree with them or not, their pushback is changing how these stories unfold and forcing the media to think twice before turning old details into new bombshells. If you found this deep dive interesting, make sure to stick around. There's always another angle, another twist, and another royal headline waiting around the corner. Hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.